Greetings everyone, welcome back to this educational channel on Form 4 and Form 5 biology. Today we'll be studying about the endocrine system. This is a subtopic in Form 5 biology, chapter 3 on coordination and response. Now the endocrine system is a very interesting system as it produces many different types of hormones that affect many different aspects of our lives. And it produces these hormones from its endocrine glands. These hormones regulate metabolism, growth and development, reproduction, tissue function, sleep and mood, among other things. So let's discover more about the endocrine system. What is the endocrine system and what does it do? The endocrine system is a system that consists of endocrine glands, which secrete chemical substances called hormones. The endocrine system is another coordinating system other than the nervous system that controls the body's activities by releasing chemicals called hormones from the endocrine glands. This helps to regulate physiological processes such as growth and reproduction. And these physiological processes mean the processes that occur in the body to sustain life, such as growth, reproduction, and so forth. So what is the definition for hormones? Hormones are chemical messengers produced by endocrine glands such as these that are pictured here. And for example, pituitary gland, adrenal gland, thyroid gland, pancreas. All right, these are all endocrine glands because they secrete hormones. Therefore, they are called endocrine glands. Now, these hormones are transported by the bloodstream to regulate activities of target organs, the organs that are meant to respond to the hormones. These are called the target organs and tissues. Here is a diagram showing the production and transport of hormones to target organs. First, the cells in the endocrine gland secrete hormones. For example, when the blood sugar level is too high, above the normal level, higher than the normal level, then the pancreas will secrete the hormone insulin. So, the insulin hormone or the hormone insulin will diffuse into the blood, directly into the bloodstream, and then the hormone is transported to the target organ. Can you recall what is the target organ that responds to the hormone insulin, where changes can occur? Yes, it is the liver. Okay, not the pancreas again, it's the liver. So, for example, insulin will then diffuse out and bind out of the blood and bind to receptor molecules on the liver cells. So for the cells to receive the hormone into the cells, they must have specific receptors to which the hormone can bind. If the cells do not have the specific receptors for the binding of the hormone, then they will not be able to respond to the hormones in any way. So certain cells are not the target cells, and these cells will not respond to the effects of the hormone. Okay, will not be affected by the hormones. So for example, liver cells are the ones that are the target cells, or the liver is the target organ for insulin. Therefore, the cells in the liver have these receptor molecules to allow the hormone to bind to it, and then the hormone will diffuse into the hormone will be transported into the cells. Okay, then cells in the target organ receive the hormones and the changes will occur. For example, if insulin is received by the cells in the liver, what is the effect? So the liver cells will respond by converting the excess glucose into a compound called what? Glycogen, to be stored in the liver so that the blood sugar level will decrease back to normal. Okay, so we see here the role of the endocrine glands such as the pancreas to secrete the hormone like insulin, and then the role of the blood is to transport the hormone to the target organs which will respond to the hormones and will be affected by the hormones. So the target organ in this case is the liver, and the liver will respond by converting excess blood sugar into glycogen. A common question that is asked in the exam is, why are the endocrine glands called ductless glands? D-U-C-T, not D-U-C-K, D-U-C-T-L-E-S-S. A duct is a sort of narrow tube for some secreted substances to move out. For example, we have sweat duct, okay, in the skin. So why is it that the endocrine glands are called ductless glands? That means they don't have ducts. So 3 marks. This is a past year exam question. So the endocrine glands do not have ducts. They secrete the hormone and release their hormones directly into bloodstream. So that's the key thing. Directly into the bloodstream, and the blood is the medium of transport for hormones. Okay, so blood will transport the hormones to the target cells where they can then regulate the activities in the tissues and organs. Okay, this picture shows the endocrine system, which consists of various endocrine glands such as pituitary gland in the brain. It's shaped like it has 2 lobes. Okay, so we have to know the appearance of the glands, although some of them may be very small, because sometimes in the exam the structure will be tested and the name of the gland is not given. Okay, so you have to know what gland has this particular structure. For example, it's the pituitary gland. And then there's the thyroid gland that secretes thyroxine at the neck. It's shaped like a ribbon. Adrenal gland is just on top of the kidney. So there are a pair of adrenal glands at the top of the kidney, 2 kidneys. So the shape is a bit triangular, and it has 2 parts, the outer part and the inner part. Then pancreas. Pancreas has multiple roles in the body. So it secretes hormones, and it also secretes another substance called what? Enzymes. Okay, so pancreas secretes the enzymes such as, remember the acronym LAT, L for lipase, A for amylase, and T for trypsin. Okay, so these 3 enzymes help to digest food. But other than that, it secretes 2 hormones. What are the 2 hormones from the pancreas? Yes, insulin and glucagon, which you have studied in chapter 2 last year. Okay, and both help to regulate the blood sugar level. Okay, we'll discuss that later. Then further down, there are the reproductive organs that also act as endocrine glands. For women, it's the ovary. A pair of ovaries just next to the fallopian tube and near to the uterus. So the ovary has 2 functions. The first function is to produce the egg cells or ovum, but it also produces hormones such as estrogen and progesterone, the female hormones, that regulate the menstrual cycle and also reproduction. Now, for men, they have a pair of testes, which are the reproductive organs that produce the sperms. And the testes also produces the male hormones, which are called androgens. And one of the androgens is testosterone. Okay? So testosterone from men and from women, the sex hormones are estrogen and progesterone. So all these, testosterone, progesterone, and estrogen, are all steroid hormones. They're actually lipids. Whereas insulin from the pancreas is a protein, for example. Okay, and then for this lesson, we'll discuss mainly the pituitary gland for a start, because pituitary gland secretes a lot of hormones, up to 8 hormones that we have to study. So for your syllabus, you have to study the functions of all these glands and where they are secreted from, and also the effects of a lack of these hormones. Some of these hormones will be studied, the effect of over-secretion or under-secretion later on. So let's start with the pituitary gland. This gland is also called the master gland. Why is that so? Because it secretes some hormones that will control the secretion of hormones from other glands. So it's called master glands, the master of all the glands, because it can control the secretion from glands like thyroid gland, which is at the neck. So pituitary gland secretes a hormone called thyroid stimulating hormone. In short, is TSH. Okay, some people have these initials in their names. TSH stimulates thyroid gland to secrete thyroxine. So don't confuse TSH with thyroxine. TSH must be produced by pituitary gland first, and it will stimulate the thyroid gland further down at the neck to secrete thyroxine. Right? Now, pituitary gland also secretes a hormone called FSH, like fish, follicle stimulating hormone. So what does this hormone stimulate? Just by looking at the name, we know that it stimulates the follicle. It's a follicle stimulating hormone. So what is a follicle? A follicle is a group of cells and which surrounds the ovum. The follicles consist of the ovum in the ovary plus some cells surrounding it. Okay, so when this hormone is secreted from pituitary gland during the menstrual cycle every month in women, it will stimulate the development of the follicles in the ovary, so that one of the follicles containing the ovum will develop. So that means the ovum will also develop in each menstrual cycle, which takes about 28 days. All right, but it needs this hormone to stimulate the development of the ovum to become mature. If not, it is in the young stages, it's not matured, it cannot undergo fertilization. Now, luteinizing hormone, LH, stimulates ovulation in women, meaning the release of the ovum into the fallopian tube in every menstrual cycle. Once every 28 days, there's an ovulation. When the ovum has already matured, okay, after the function of FSH, after FSH has carried out its function, then the LH is secreted to stimulate the ovulation of the mature of the ovum which has grown. And this ovum will be released from the ovary into the fallopian tube. Okay, so it stimulates ovulation, which is the release of the ovum into the fallopian tube. The fourth hormone from pituitary gland is the growth hormone, or in short, GH, not General Hospital, growth hormone. So as its name implies, it stimulates growth of bones and tissues in the body. Therefore, it's very important to teenagers and to children who are growing. They need sufficient amounts of growth hormone to stimulate the growth of their bones so that the bones can lengthen and tissues can develop. So a lack of growth hormone can cause the growth of the child to be retarded or slowed down. Now the next hormone from the pituitary gland is antidiuretic hormone, antidiuretic hormone, or ADH. This hormone is produced in pituitary gland in the brain, but it acts in the kidneys, which are further down. So it's transported by the blood from pituitary gland to the kidneys, where it will stimulate water reabsorption from urine back into blood in the kidneys when a person lacks water. So when a person doesn't drink enough water, then the body has to adjust. It has to retain the water in the blood and not excrete it in the urine. Thus, the person who has a lack of water will produce more antidiuretic hormone, which is transported to the kidneys, and there the antidiuretic hormone will stimulate the water reabsorption from urine. That means the water from the urine will be reabsorbed back into the blood capillaries, which are surrounding the structures that contain the urine. So that means the blood will receive back more water so that the blood osmotic pressure can be maintained in the blood. Then the urine that is produced will be less. That's why if a person lacks water or doesn't drink water, he will produce very little urine because of this hormone that regulates the blood osmotic pressure. We will study more about antidiuretic hormone in another subtopic. That's all for this lesson. I will continue to talk about the function of the glands in the next lesson, and we also talk more about the pituitary gland, which also produces another 3 more hormones that we have to discuss. And I will also be producing some videos on the nervous system too. So we will be increasing the speed of our teaching, our lessons, and more videos will be produced in the near future to help you study faster and catch up with your syllabus. So please share, like, and subscribe, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.